What we did was make a minor change to the gallery walk, but it had great results. So for a gallery walk, what we had students do is write up their approach and write up their result on the really big sticky pad easel paper and hang them around the room. And we gave students then we asked students as a team to go up to at least two other teams' work and review it. We had them with prompts, like look and see what was different from your approach, look and see what was the same as your approach. And after they viewed two other teams, they were supposed to come back to their table and discuss what they saw. And during our observation of that first teach, what we noticed is that students really didn't discuss very well. They didn't have the kind of conversations we were really hoping for. In fact, I remember for my table, there was like no discussion at all. They just sat there. So when we had our debrief, we talked about that quite a bit. We wanted to keep the gallery walk. But have richer discussions when they came back to their table. So we did a slight change. Instead of having a team go up all together to view a team's work, we had the team members split apart. And so that way they became ambassadors for a poster that they were looking at. And they had to bring that back to the whole team and share what was the same and what was different. And that really had a great improvement in the discussions. I'm just struck by how much we grew as a team. And I just want to point out that this process is a pretty vulnerable process. Whenever I've met with faculty before and we're focused on trying to develop a lesson, it can be pretty tense because we're really quite committed and very passionate about what we teach and how we teach it. And so those conversations can be difficult to have. It's also a vulnerable place to have 4 to 6 people, observers, come into your class. Every time I was a teacher for that, I would feel it, even though I knew that the focus was going to be on the lesson and on the students. My nerves were really high. And also something just to think about is just the structure of faculty these days. If you have a team that have a mix of job secure and job insecure employees, part faculty and full-time faculty, that can make it difficult. For the part-time faculty, they may not know if next quarter they're going to have a class to feed their families or not. And that can add difficult intentions within the group. I've had a little bit of learning about how groups form and how groups are successful together. And I feel like the lesson study process hits on all of those elements. And it's also geared toward what does it mean to have a faculty group be successful. So I think starting off with the grounding and the research is very critical. And as DeMarie was mentioning, that setting of the norms with each other, really taking time to set those norms for the team and how the team is going to be with each other and learn with each other are critical. It really does develop that sense of trust that can carry on through. And then just for the lesson study process for how you're coming back with intentionality. We knew for each stage of the process what we're going to be talking about with each other, and having that was just really important. Often when faculty come together, there's not quite as structured of a process and things can get touchy at times. One of the things that I take away from it is just the level of intimacy that I know about my colleagues now that were a part of this. I understand how they teach better, and seeing them in class and talking about lessons together and talking about how we would bring this lesson to our students stretched my teaching. I have changed how I teach now because I had that opportunity to really talk through these things with my colleagues. This is by far the best professional development I have ever experienced. Um, just hands down, the absolute best. And when I terms or 5 cycles, the first cycle uh, lesson, it was a lesson that most of us have either abandoned or changed significantly. And I don't our first group, our first term together, our first cycle together was when we were really learning what the process was like. We were getting over those uh, difficulties with each other, even though maybe I wouldn't describe them as difficulties. We were learning about each other and how we taught differently, and we're coming together on a lesson in such an important way and building that really deep sense of trust. And each time we did another cycle, that would improve. And we got some great lessons out of it now, 4 really strong lessons for this class. And I also have developed a group of people that I trust deeply now that I feel like I can go to and share successes and share ideas with. And that is just invaluable.